Hello YouTube. Today I'll be showing you guys how to scrap this DirecTV DVR, which comes with a hard drive included. This had a cable card, I just removed it. I might make another video showing what cable cards look like, just a really brief one, and kind of what they do. But anyway, so yeah, here's a DVR. Flip it upside down. You see a couple tamper-resistant screws. I'm just going to go ahead and pull out my tamper-proof bit set right there. Comes with some tamper-proof screws there. It's really just two separate sets. I just kept this one on here because it was easier to keep together. So now we're just going to pull out a small little Torx bit. It's a tamper-resistant, which means it has a pin in the middle. And let's see if this will work. Oh yeah, that will work great. Sorry about that. Me mum was just coming in and wanted to get some bathroom tissue. But anyway. There we go. So there are some screws in there. Now I'm just going to work on the sides, getting all the screws out. Nothing, but lots of them on the back. They are all tamper resistant. Keep that in mind. Kind of interesting how they say it's tamper resistant, but it's very easy to break into. I feel like if they wanted to make it truly tamper resistant, give us scrappers a hard time, they would just actually make their own type of machine head screws. Like an extremely small Torx bit that was extremely easy to get ruined. That would work much better at keeping thieves out, scrappers out. But yeah, whenever you take apart anything, it's a good idea to have a tamper-resistant bit set because you'll come across a lot of things that have these kind of screws, and plus some others as well. There's also those triangle-shaped screws, and the tri-wing screwdrivers will work great. So now we're just removing two screws that hold the component video ports together. They're very short. The S video port. That was quite long. And we're just going to finish up the case pieces. Now we're just going to undo the two screws that hold the coaxial ports, the RF inputs. Just get yourself either a hex nut driver or just your ordinary wire cutters that have a kind of like a flat ends and not a flat cutting end, but one directly at the end and not to the side. Those work great. Now we broke the warranty seal, and now the cover should come right out. And yes, right here, tilted a little bit, sorry about that, but can see there is a a hard drive. I've tried reusing them, but it never worked out in the end because they always are specially programmed. I tried using my external hard drive, took it apart, and got the controller board out of it. It never actually spun up. I mean, all right. So it looks like a very, very small board here. Our main board here is quite small. So we'll just have to stick on one by one. Can't pull it out of its socket for some reason. My thing is getting quite dull. There you go. So these ends here, each one of them has gold plating inside, little SATA connectors. So you want to put that with your gold plated connector pile. Now I'm just going to remove. There's a little fan here we could reuse or sell it or just scrap it as copper bearing. Our goal is now to remove the front panel. It should have a small low-grade board in it. There we go. I'm going to pull back on the tabs a bit. Let me move around here. There we go. So yeah, as you can tell on the front panel here, you got yourselves a little circuit board. Just remove the little screws on the front. By the way, whenever I was recording this, there's a tropical storm Bill that's approaching our area. Alright, so you always want to check the ends of your flex flat connectors to make sure you don't have any gold plating on them. Yep, it's just silver. It's either silver or nickel tin plated. I'm not too sure, but it's definitely not gold plated. So now on this board here, that little ring of stuff right there around this button, the center button, those are LEDs. And those LEDs have small amount of gold plating, 1 to 2% of its volume is made of gold. So I always, whenever I work on my boards, I always pop those off and put them in a little container for further processing. And right there, that little symbol with the hand is static sensitive, but I don't really care because heck, I'm a scrapper. I'm not gonna salvage any of it. So here's a piece of plastic. Now we're just going to move this board right there. Come on, get in there. Yeah. It is so hard to get these in, I don't know why. Just teeny tiny little screws. So tiny. Alright. So, Now we got that done. This pulls right out. This is the smart card board here. There's some nice gold plating inside each of these pins that connect to the smart card. And on the back there's a little chip there. And a one monolithic ceramic on the back. So, yeah, this board is green on both sides. So I would count this as I'd probably still count it as a low grade because there's so much plastic in there. But I'm not too sure. It might be a peripheral. I'm not too sure. Anyway. So now I'm going to go to the side of there. And there are 4 screws that hold that fan in place. Go ahead and zoom out a bit. So yeah, there are 4 screws that secure that fan in place. Oops. Wow. Alright. Last screw. And there we go. And I can tell this thing is just as it's not tested, and it probably wouldn't work because on these boards you can see a lot of those capacitors which help in power are bloated, and some of them have exploded and leaked their electrolyte. So this board would probably have a very low life if you bought it. I got this one from the thrift shop for like 95 cents, but it was half off, so whenever I scrap boards, I can get a profit on them. So I am removing the power supply board. What the? Oh, connector's to us. Yeah, connector. Right there. Pins went right through that. But yeah. You can tell the capacitors are bulging. You can just tell that one leaked its fluid. See, a lot of these are busted. So this is a very low reliability capacitors on this board. Cheap little OST capacitors, so they're obviously China made. Anyway, they make good stuff, so they're not all bad. Now I'm just removing the cage that holds the wonderful hard drive, which could have lots of videos on it and DVR movies and stuff. But I don't know. I'm not a big movie person, so this will just go to the scrap. Okay. There we go. So this hard drive does not say how many gigs is in here. Oh well. I could use it. I'm not too sure. But it got water damage, so probably won't work. And there we go. Typical IDE hard drive SATA. I mean, not IDE. It's a SATA drive. You can pull off that logic board. I've done a previous video on it. You can check it out in my channel. But I took apart a hard drive to show you what's inside. There's gold in here. Even inside the whole disc, and the discs are covered in platinum, but such a thin layer of coating it's not worth trying to recover the platinum. And there's an itty bitty little board right there, which has two little screws on it. That will be for the USB port. There we go. So this USB port has some gold in it, and then nothing on the back. So it's a typical low grade. Got ourselves some insulated wire. The ends are not gold plated. And now, oops, there we go. Now on to the main board here. So this main board has some screws on it, so let's undo those. There we go. So, yeah, just gonna pull off this little heatsink, and this heatsink can be sold as just with your aluminum heatsinks, just some scrap aluminum. The casing is steel. You got a whole bunch of screws. And then this board here is a peripheral board. You can sell this with your peripheral boards. It's better than high grade and much better than mid grade. There's a lot more precious metals on these boards compared to high grade boards. So, good to know. There's some RAM chips on here. There's four little rectangular chips. And then there's a little weird looking one, another rectangular chip above a chip that has a sticker on it. That one also is a flash chip. Also, that can be considered the type of RAM. Yeah, a whole bunch of busted capacitors again. Right there. This is just not a very reliable board. I mean, most of these capacitors have bulges in them. So, yeah. On the back, there's a whole bunch of monolithic ceramics and some integrated circuitry. That's about it. So that video was quite long, but it was kind of detailed, so it's good to know what's inside. So I hope you found that video interesting and useful. Please like the video if you found it interesting. Comment, tell me what you thought, what I could do better, and subscribe for more content in the future by the Scrap Man. So thanks for watching. and I'll see you guys later.